Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm the Hip Hop Professor, and today I'm super excited to share with you my recently completed 90s Topps Finest Refractor run for Greg Maddux. This was one of the first couple runs that I had decided to target, these 4 Refractor project runs from the 90s. We had the Topps Chrome, we had the Bowman Chrome, we had the Bowman's Best, and now, finally, the finest ones for the 90s are complete. Those 4 runs, along with my Topps Tiffany runs, were the first ones that I really wanted to target when getting back into the hobby. This one has taken me longer to complete than the other ones, and when we look at some of these cards, we're going to see why. There are some big ones, there are some rare ones, some scarce ones, and some pricey ones that are sort of mixed, sprinkled throughout. And so let's go ahead and turn the camera around, and we'll get right to it. All right, so starting in here with this 90s Finest Refractor run, we're going to go ahead and start chronologically. And so starting off with the biggie, well, one of the biggies anyway, 93 Finest Refractor for Greg Maddux. Now this card was my big one, culminating toward the very, very end of 2023. And so this card I picked up just about a year ago, and that was a really huge one for me. Very, very notorious card from a very, very notorious set. 1993 Finest Refractor. And there were a couple of these that were available. And I was really happy I was able to snag this one for, I think, what was a very competitive price. But this one I really had to save up quite a bit of time and money for. And I was able to grab this in a beautiful PSA assigned 9. It's a beautiful mint 9 card. And this set, I will say, so there's a there's a print run that they would calculated of 241 of these for each player. And it is somewhat debated whether or not that's an accurate number. People sometimes will look to the pop reports that have, 300 cards for Frank Thomas graded and say, well, how is that even possible? Well, you forget about the cracking and resubmitting. That was a really big deal for cards then. But yeah, the first ever chromium cards, the first ever refractor cards in the hobby. These cards I think will always have demand and always have a place in hobby history. And so really, really happy to have this and proud to be an owner of this card. So really, really, so we're starting off this run with a bang. All right, moving on to 94. And 94, here's our example for 94 Finest Refractor. Just a gorgeous card here. And both in 93 and 94, we managed to get some cards with really minimal hulking. Really, there's not much here on either of these, really. And this, too, is in a PSA assigned 9. Of course, these being my PC cards, I will cover up the grades with the stickers. Not that I'm shy about them. I'll tell you what the grades are. I just, the reason I do that is that I don't want the grade distracting from the beauty of the card. I'll tell you the grade. I'll tell you in my own time. But, for me, I find it distracting. When I see cards, I get angry at myself for having my attention waver. And I can always see I can find my eyeballs sort of, I catch myself. My eyes drift to that corner to see, okay, what's the grade? What's the grade? And really, it's no. Admire the beauty of the card above the grade. I'll tell you what the grade is, but anyway, there's 94. They did make more of these 94s. I don't think that they actually have a print run, a stated print run, or even an estimated one. But generally speaking, the refractors were 1 per box for 93s, and I think they may have been 2 per box for 94. So a little more plenteous. Not quite as tough to find, and way less expensive. All right, and then coming along here, next one we have is 95. Oh man. So this is one that I sent in for grading myself, and super happy that this one came back in a PSA Mint 9. This is a tough card to get. So while there's not 241 of these like there are with 93, there's an estimated print run for 95s that are about 550, is what they say. Which, you know, for 90s is a pretty low number, really. And with this particular card, it tends to be off-centered. I think on 80% of them, 90% of these cards you'll find they're off-centered in the same way. And holding it in this horizontal orientation, the right border tends to be very, very thin. And again, we're talking like 80-20, like way off-centered. And so that takes out a good number of these kind of cards. You know, this is the kind of card where condition sensitivity, condition scarcity really plays in, because, you know, this, you know, so many of these cards, so few of them are centered this well, that to find an example, a copy like this, is truly a rarity. Also, it should be mentioned that this is also a variant, and maybe it's related to the centering, I don't know. These cards should have the word Refractor written in the green along the border over here. This one does not have that. It just doesn't have that word on it. So kind of a strange one. The vast majority of them do have that. This doesn't. And just to give you an idea about the condition scarcity of this thing and what that does for the value, you know, this is the kind of card, you could probably pick this card up ungraded in its off-centered state, probably about $40, 40 to 50, somewhere in there. This card I purchased, it was already peeled when I purchased it, but at auction, this ended up selling. I was the high bidder, and it was about 125 is what this went for. And so it's literally getting like 3x what the ungraded one was because of that centering. So kind of a big deal. You know, it's really one of those cards I was trying to hold out for. I did have a bunch of, for the 94 and 95s both, I ended up getting a bunch of different copies of them and ended up upgrading them. In some cases, like 94, a bunch of times until I found one that I was actually happy with. And some of them had various issues about pockmarks and print lines, refractor lines, things of that nature. So we've got 93, 94, 95, all in PSA assigned 9s. Let's move on to 96. But also, don't think that I'm a PSA fanboy necessarily. Most of the cards that I try to get, you know, they may end up in PSA slabs, that's fine. But I am what they would call slab-gnostic. It doesn't matter to me. If I see a beautiful card in SGC or Beckett or CSG or CGC, that's fine. I'll pick them up. It's just that most of them tend to be in PSA, and they're the leaders, so that's just how I tend to find them. Beautiful silver refractor from 96 finest. 96 was the first year they sort of fractionated this into bronze, silver, and gold. They call the bronze common. The silvers, as you can see down here in the corner, they call uncommon. So here's an uncommon refractor. And this one, yeah, I bought slabbed up in this SGC assigned 9. And I'm okay with the peel on this one. I am pro peeling. I've peeled a number of them before I've sent them off myself for grading. This one I'm okay with because the words about the finest, the protector, they don't obscure his face or his body much at all. And so to me, it doesn't ruin the presentation. I kind of do like the fact that it is original. I do like that it's on there. I do like that it has, you know, for the sake of history of cardboard, I like that it's there. So in some cases, if they have the peel on there and it's already slabbed up, I'm not going to crack it out just to peel it and put it in a Mag Pro, although that would be kind of fun to do, admittedly. Now, that was for Series 1. Series 2 finest, they also had bronze, silver, and gold. Now, Maddux did not have a bronze this year, but he did have 2 silvers, and he had a gold. And so here's the second silver from Series 2. And so these franchises ones. And this one's sitting in a Mag Pro. This one, I decided not to get graded. It's, no, I don't know. Maybe someday, but it's not the top of my list. Again, we see it's the uncommon refractor on the back. And this one, too, has the peel still intact. It, for the most part, avoids his body. It doesn't obscure the image too much. This one, I will say, is one of the toughest ones to find in terms of hulking. And so he's just got a little bit of hulking on his chin. Just a little bit. But generally, a really nice presenting copy. And our second, Silver Refractor from 96. All right, and to finish up with 96, let's go ahead and have the biggie, the Gold Refractor from 96. This card, oh man, this card was the one involved in the lawsuit. And there was a guy. So when 96 Finest came out, Topps, these were not serial numbered, but Topps in their, I believe their sell sheet, stated that for the gold refractors, that there was going to be a print run of 150. And again, for 96, that's like really, really limited. And 96, there weren't many sets that were numbered under 200 or even a print run of 150 or less. Yeah, you had select certified mirrors and you had, the studio silver press proofs that were, print run of 100. But other than those, there, it wasn't really till 97 that the numbering stuff really started to get that limited. But the point was, this card was the focal point of a big lawsuit where a collector in California managed to, and this was in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, really before the internet kicked in with eBay and all that stuff. This guy managed to acquire over 220 copies of this single card and settled with Topps out of court. But this guy was paying upwards of $1,000 for each copy that he was obtaining. And so when he got over 220, he said, uh-oh, something's not right here. So let's go ahead and move over the silver. Let's make room for the gold. That way we have a whole run of 96 right here. We got the gold flanked on both sides by the silvers. There we are. Okay, and so moving along, let's go ahead and take a look at 97. And so like 96, 97 had their bronze, silvers, and golds in various different subsets, you could say. And so we'll start first with this Masters. This is a card that I've considered. I've toyed with the idea of possibly sending it in for grading, but chances are it'd come back probably a 9, and this card in a 9 probably wouldn't add so much value more than the cost of grading it to what this card's worth. And so it just doesn't make sense. I'll just keep it in this Mag Pro. It's beautiful, beautiful card. But boy, is there ever a subset for Greg Maddux than Masters. That just feels right. And so here we have the Silver Refractor from 97. I did peel this one myself in anticipation of possibly sending it in, and haven't done that yet, and really not sure that I will. But that's fine. Gorgeous card. Now the Silver Refractors were a little tougher to get than the Bronze Refractors, but they also had a second parallel which involved the embossed versions. And so for silvers and golds, they had embossed, and then they had embossed refractors. And so this is the same image that we had here as the Silver Refractor, but this one is the Silver Embossed Refractor. And so this this card is just, this is wild. And really, if you can see, if you get in the light, you can sort of see Greg Maddux is popping out of the card here. And of course, this refractor design, this almost a mosaic style, it actually mirrors the atomic refractor from 96 Bowman's Best. Same refractor pattern. And what's also wild about this one too is that the backs of both of these cards are actually refractored. And here you can see that same refractor pattern appears on the back, only slightly muted, and you can still see the embossing from the reverse over there too. So this is a tough card to get. These embossed refractors, these are tough to find. They are expensive to obtain. And this one here is sitting in a PSA assigned 9. Okay. So let's go ahead and replace our 96 silver with our 97 silver embossed. And then we get to the 97 golds. And it's a 97 gold refractor. Beauty, 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 beautiful card. This was a card that I actually downgraded to. I bought one of these, submitted it, got a PSA 10, and then sold the 10 to buy this 9. And I couldn't be happier. I was able to free up some funds to put towards other cards. And so yeah, this is a 97 gold refractor. And just what a beautiful shine. That blue in the background when the gold and the refractor hits it, the rainbow, man. We'll replace this gold with the gold. And again, the back is also refractored. I love when they started doing that toward the late 90s. This is a really great double refractor technology. Just love it. All right. And the next one, this is the biggie. And for this run, this was the one that for me was the toughest hunt, the toughest chase. Because, well, we'll take a look at this one. This one is the 97 finest gold embossed refractor. And this card is glorious. You know, this is quite something. This is there's so much technology involved with this card. It is refractored with a refractor pattern that sort of looks like the atomic refractor from 97 Bowman's Best. And with that refractor pattern comes the danger of hulking. And this is actually a really nicely presenting copy. I've seen this copy all hulked out where his face is bright green, and that is not the case here. This is a beautiful presenting copy. The edges are deckled. They call this the die-cut refractor. And so this is the gold embossed refractor, but they'll call it sometimes the die-cut. It's got the decal edge. So it's die-cut, it's embossed, it's got the atomic refractor pattern on the front, and not just on the front either. It's got the same atomic refractor pattern, a little more subtle, but it's there, it's present on the back. You can see it, it's going. So this is a crazy, crazy tough card to find. All the cards from this set. These are not serial numbered, but I will say as far as pack odds are concerned, you're talking one in 1,152 packs just to get one of them. And then there's 25 players in that gold embossed set or subset that you could be getting. So our true odds are closer to 1 in 30,000 packs for something like this. And again, for $5, at $5 a pack, this has a very high PDP ratio. And so, yeah, it's a pricey card. These are not serial numbered. The basketball ones are, but the set sizes are different too. And so people estimate that between 30 and 40, 30 to 50 of these cards exist. We don't actually know. But I can tell you, having hunted for one, this is way, way tougher to find than the 93 finest refractor. And those are the two biggies in this run. So this was one of my two Grail pickups from last year. And so this was the one I knew would be a tough one to obtain, tough one to surmount. But we did it. We did it thanks to help on social media, thanks to help on Facebook, thanks to Bill, the Hall of Fame collector, for putting me into contact with someone who had one. Okay, so there's 97. Now after 97, you kind of have an anticlimactic 98. 98 was kind of an off year for finest. Oh, I should probably say, this is in a BGS assigned 8.5, by the way. I know you probably saw the subgrades up there, but still, that's what we have. And the 98 finest, they did away with all of the gold, silver, bronze tiers of refractors. They just stopped doing that. So here is one. Now they had two varieties of refractor from 98. And again, 98 was the last year that these cards really could hulk out. They changed the technology, and so 99 onwards, the whole greening and hulking of refractors isn't really a thing. But that still happened with this set for 98 Finest. So I'm saying that this is the peeled version, and I wrote down peeled because there is one called the non-protector refractor, which is actually rarer and tougher to get. Now, that leads to a lot of people trying to scam others in the hobby. I know it never happens, right? Whoever scams in this hobby, come on. But you got to protect yourself. You know, people will say that it's the no protector version, when in reality it's the regular one with the protector that they've just peeled. And so for comparison, here's the non-protector, and you can see, thankfully, PSA labeled this properly. They don't always label it properly, so I'm going to teach you how to tell them apart. So here's the non-protector refractor that never came with one. And so for a couple reasons, I would say this is more condition sensitive because A, it never had a protector on there on the front, but we can tell the big difference. There's two differences you can tell from the back. So let's go ahead and flip these over. And so, number one, the non-protector refractor, clearly we can see, has a refractor back. And so the refractor back, it's metallic, it's chromicized, it's got the refractor on there, whereas this one just has a normal backing on it. I actually upgraded this one. This is in a PSA assigned 9 because of the refractor and the chromium printing. It's possible that the back can hulk out, even if the front doesn't. So that's what I upgraded from. My previous copy did have hulking on the back. This one doesn't. The other difference you can tell is in the numbering. And so if we look at the numbering real carefully here, we can see that the 16 that's on this non-protector refractor, see how that compares to the numbering on the regular one that says 16R. So it's interesting because they're both actually refractors. But the non-protector doesn't have the R written in here, usually. And whereas the regular one with the protector that was been peeled does have the R next to the 16. Now, I have seen examples where that doesn't follow the case, but I would say in the overwhelming majority, 95, 98% of the time, that's what you expect to see. So here we are. We have our 98s, and I cannot dethrone this one yet. We're gonna have to dethrone these two to march through the 98s, just like this. Now 99 is an interesting duck here, because 99 we had some different subsets involved with these, and so Maddux was in 2 of the subsets and was in, of course, the base. So let's go ahead and start in with what all 3 of these were. And so the base card for 99 looked like this, the base refractor. So here we are. This is a 99 Finest refractor. Let me get the focus here. There we are. And, gorgeous card. This one's sitting in a Mag Pro. And this was a year, they changed it actually in 98 to have this protector going vertically down the side, which I think I prefer that over the diagonal ones, because, if it's off to the side like that, it doesn't obscure the player very much, and it doesn't bother me. So maybe I could peel this card, maybe not, I don't know. But it doesn't bother me having that off to the side a little bit. So this one's the regular from 99 Finest, but then there's also 2 subsets that Maddux was involved in. And so we have the gems, which looks like this. And I will say, what a difference it makes though, when, just in how these pop when the peel's removed. Like that's really stunning. Wow. I love these little honeycomb shapes we have over here. They're just great. These little octagons and squares. And the last one that we have is the Sterling. And the Sterling one from 99, also same thing. I've got the peel on there still. And yeah, again, Cinemag Pro. Will I peel it? I don't know. Probably not. It doesn't bother me too much. It doesn't, again, it's not over his face or over his body. It doesn't obscure him too much, so we're fine. You can always go back and peel it later. But I will say, as far as hunting down cards for this run, I will say one of the most challenging aspects and the final piece of the puzzle that came in just recently, just this week, I finished my last pieces of the puzzle here. Each of these 99 finest refractors have a gold refractor parallel. And the golds in this set are serial numbered to 100. So let's take a look at these golds. So let's start with the gems subset. And this one, I tell you what, these these golden honeycombs, the etching on this is wild. And much like the 97s, they brought back the decal edge, the die cut on here. So it's the depth of these refractors are just astounding, and I love them. So we got the die cut, the decal edge, we got these etched gold refractors. These are not truly embossed, I will say, but they are serial numbered out of 100, as we can see. And of course, the back is refractored as well. And they do say next to the numbering here, gold refractor. All right, and so this one, let's see if we can, maybe we can put them both there, side by side, huh? Can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. If it'll focus. Let me readjust here. There we go. All right, and then the other one, the sterling. And so here's our sterling gold refractor. And all of these golds are in a PSA assigned 9s. Now I will say, both the last card and this one, they do have their little Newton's rings. These cards are so shiny that yeah, sometimes they will have that, they will depict those, and that's fine. But that's what they are. Again, numbered to 100 on the back, refractor on the back, decal edged, die cut, beautiful etched refractor, and devilishly tough to find. All right, and then the actual last one, the last one I actually got in this entire run, if this is going to stay there, it doesn't want to stay. There we go. Was this one. This is the most recent one. This is the one that completed the entire run, was the regular 99 Topps Finest gold refractor. Just a beauty. Just an absolute stunning card. Not much left to be said about these. But this one's a bookend. This one's a number 100 out of 100. And so that's kind of cool. A good bookend to finish up the run. 90s finest refractors. Now, for the sake of consistency, I'm going to put this over here if I can manage to squeeze it in. You know what? We might just have to move these over a little bit, huh? Yeah, let's scooch them over. Make a little bit of room. I'm worried this one's going to fall over, but there we go. There we go. Now I got to back this up a little bit. There we go. Now we can see them all. And then I can get this one just a little bit. There we are. Much better. Whew. Now I will say, with my other runs, my Topps Chrome and my Bowman's Best and all that stuff, even Bowman Chrome, I did go until 2000. So while it would be good to end with a bookend, we'll finish with the 2000 finest refractor. Gorgeous card. Love this baseball in the background. And that baseball is textured, and you can tell they stopped doing protectors in the 2000 set. So that was a technology. It was just merely a 90s one innovation that they had. But yeah, these things in the background are still all etched, and it's again a double-sided refractor. We can take a look here. And also in 2000, they also had a gold that was actually really tough to get. Here's the gold. They don't know how many of these were made again. They were never serial numbered for some reason, but super tough, like super tough to get. And so people suspect that there were, again, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 30 to 50 of these. They don't really know, but super tough true odds and pack odds to get. Then it's got the decal edge on there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the die cut, like the 99s and 97 gold embossed. And on the back it does say gold refractor. There it is. All right, so with 2000, we're gonna go ahead and call this run complete. Now, there are some refractors that are some of the insert refractors, like the finest The Man refractors, things that I have not obtained yet. I'm not sure that I will, but the goal here was to hunt down the base refractors and even the subset variations, which we've got all those now. And so this has been a tremendously fun, a challenging project for me to undertake, and just the satisfaction that now it's complete. You know, the thrill of the hunt is now gone. We've got them. And now it's so much fun to be able to sit back and admire something like this. And I don't know how many other people do runs like these, but I'm just having such a fun time in the hobby, putting these runs together. And putting these runs together, it helps me to keep my focus maintained. You know, as a player collector, it's a deep rabbit hole you can dive down. And, you know, I don't want to ever feel pressured as a completionist or a completist to feel pressured to have to pick up and acquire all these cards I don't have. You know, we have limited time, limited funds, limited budget, and, you know, but as it was, and as it still is, I love refractors. I love the 90s. A targeted run like this just made a whole lot of sense for me. And so thanks for coming along on my journey, and I will see you in the next video.